There's a moment most people know deeply but rarely talk about. You have a dream, you can see it clearly, but your feet won't move. You tell yourself you need one more skill, one more dollar, one more guarantee before you begin. You believe that if you can just predict every possible problem, you'll finally feel safe enough to start. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That feeling of almost ready is not preparation, it's a prison. And today, I want to tell you the story of a man who built that prison with his own hands, brick by brick, and called it wisdom. His name was Cale. He lived in a peaceful valley surrounded by ancient grey mountains. The valley was safe, predictable, and completely suffocating. Cale had heard legends of a golden city beyond the peaks, a place of freedom, color, and possibility. He wanted to go more than anything. So he did what any responsible person does. He prepared, he pulled out a notebook and began listing every danger he might face: cold, hunger, rain, wild animals, darkness. For each imagined threat, he packed a solution: a heavy fur coat for the snow, 10 pounds of dried meat, and 5 bags of grain for hunger, a thick canvas tent for storms, an iron sword for wolves, a coil of rope for cliffs, a lantern, and 6 bottles of oil for the dark. When he finally zipped the bag shut, it towered above his head like a monument to his own fear. He felt proud. He had thought of everything. The next morning, he reached for the bag's straps, took a deep breath, pushed with every muscle in his legs, and barely moved. His face flushed red. His knees buckled. He took one wobbling step and collapsed against the wall, gasping. He was completely crushed under the weight of his own safety. Days passed, then weeks. Every morning, Cale tried to lift the bag. Every morning, it won. He sat by his window, watching the mountain, perfectly prepared and going absolutely nowhere. Then one afternoon, an old traveler named Bryn walked past his open door. Bryn carried nothing but a walking stick and a small, nearly empty satchel. He was whistling. Cale nearly shouted at him, warning him, lecturing him about wolves and storms and all the terrible what-ifs waiting on that mountain. Bryn simply walked inside, looked at the enormous backpack on the floor, and said quietly, "You have everything you need to survive." Yet here you are, safe from every danger, including the Golden City. What followed was a quiet, uncomfortable lesson. Bryn pointed to each item one by one. The iron sword, 5 pounds of metal for a wolf that wasn't there. The tent, a canvas house for a storm that existed only in Cale's imagination. The month's worth of food, dead weight for a hunger that hadn't arrived yet. The fur coat, winter armor worn in summer heat. Each solution was real and heavy. Each problem it solved was fictional and distant. One by one, Cale removed them. When the bag finally held just water, bread, and a thin blanket, he felt something unexpected. Not vulnerability, lightness. "You've been confusing preparation with prediction," Bryn told him. "You cannot carry the weight of 1,000 possible futures. You only have strength for today. When the rain comes, you'll find shelter. When the wolf appears, you'll find a stone. But you cannot fight problems that only exist in your mind. You can only walk." Cale stepped outside for the first time in weeks. He didn't calculate risks. He simply felt the ground beneath his feet and started moving. The journey tested him. Rain soaked his clothes. Hunger made him search the forest floor for berries. But each problem, when it actually arrived, was smaller than the imagined version. And eventually, he stood in the Golden City, lighter than he'd ever been. Here is what that story is really about. Your anxiety is not wisdom, it's weight. Every what if you carry today is an iron sword for a wolf that isn't there yet. Real preparation means trusting your own ability to respond when problems actually arrive, not presuffering every outcome in advance. So, before you pack one more worry into your mental backpack, ask yourself honestly, is this problem happening right now? If the answer is no, put it down. Your legs are strong enough. The mountain is waiting. Take the first step.